Hello, hello, hello. We are live, aren't we? It is Monday. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and a day to chat. She's in the bedroom, sissy. What's up, Carmen? Hey, if you found my happy. What's up, Lulu, DJ, Dusty, Patty Shell, Tracy? How is everybody? Oh, y'all are going really fast. Hi. Hello, 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 folks. Good morning. What's up, old school? Hey, Martha, Susie, Auntie Tiff. Y'all are coming really quickly. Good morning to everybody. Hi, Grammy. Yeah, truly yours. We can go live. We are live. Hey, Nutter Butter. What's up, Sherry? Hey, Heather. What's up, Celia? Hey, YouTube and Facebook folks. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? What's up, Alex, Cheryl, Vanessa? What's up, Conchita, Cajun Lady, Kim? Nice to see you. You've been waiting for me, Tiny Dreamer. What's up, Win Dixie? Hey, Essie. What's up, Siberio, Tina? What's up? What's up, Angelisa? Hi, Rylene. Good to see you guys. I see everybody on a lot of different platforms this morning. Good to see you. So listen, it has been a lot in the last. Yeah, we made it home last night. You've been waiting for me. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. Glad to be with everybody. And I'll kind of level set and let everybody kind of know what's going on with me. For those of you guys who are waiting, and I know a bunch of you all are going to ask me about last night and about the speech last night and what are my thoughts last night and da 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 da. And we're going to get there. We are going to get to all of the things. Before we do that, I'm going to ask that if you are new to any of my platforms, what's up, River Ray? Hey, Brianna, what's up, Daisy Shell? And we're happy to be back. Yeah. So if you are new to YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, do me a favor and please put a 1 in the comments. Be careful about your comments related to the election. Alex, we know you are not new. We know you are not new. Good morning. Good morning, Ella. How are you? Rains, you're new? Okay, great. Not going back to TikTok, Melissa. Great. Got you. Hey, Cynthia. Peacekeeper. Good to see you too. What's up, Deborah? Glad to be here, Mandarific. Good to see you. Nice to see you, Cam. Hey, Margaret. All right, so let me just give you the deal. All right. Good to see you too, Josie. So, what's up, Christine? So, let me just, y'all are going to be coming at me a mile a minute. I know that. So right now I am currently running YouTube. I'm currently running Facebook and I'm currently running, Twitter. TikTok. Clapper so far does not have a mechanism for me to live stream via like a streaming platform. And so that means I will have to get a secondary phone to run Clapper off of it if I'm going to do Clapper at the same time, or I'm going to have to do 2 lives a day, right? So, so that's going to be the thing. Good morning, Law. So I just want to kind of level set. You're watching on YouTube for the first time. Good to see you, Susan. All right, so let me just go ahead and level set for people who are saying, "Oh, I'm not going back to TikTok, or I'm not going back to Facebook, or I'm not going whatever." I totally respect your choices to go wherever you choose to go to get the information. Like I totally respect that. Respect it. I understand it in all the ways and in all the places. And let me say this. So for me, with about 45,000 folks on TikTok and another 30 on Facebook, I feel like I should be on both of those platforms in order to continue to be the voice that I have always been, in all of those places. So yeah, so I'll continue here unless something changes, right? So unless something changes and information comes out about TikTok that makes me whatever, right? Then I will be here. So I will be on both platforms as well as doing the podcast, which the podcast is still going to rev up. It is still going to be doing more than it was, and more than it has been. I mean, we're only 8 days in. Hey, David. Hey, Luzella. Hey, Mila. Not so loud, sweet pea. So that's the other thing. And the other thing that I do have just a slight concern about is, from what I understand, Fax is not going to be live today. What's up, Bronze? Good to see you. All right. So, hey, Jamie, good to see you too. All right. So, just so that you all know, I still think that it would be great for everyone to do a couple of things, right? So, if you want to stay in touch with me, and if you want to make sure that no matter what happens in the future regarding any single platform, then what I really recommend you do is I recommend that you go to my link tree, folks. Hey Cheryl, good to see you. Go to my link tree, which is right here. What's up, Tony Key? Double click my face if you're on TikTok. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, it is in my bio information. Click my link tree, and that very top link that you see there is a form, is a link to a quick Google form. That Google form is going to ask you for your TikTok handle. It's going to ask you for your first name. It's going to ask you for a valid email address, and it's going to ask you if you are a subscriber or if you are a follower. It's going to ask you those four things, not a whole lot of anything. What that will be doing, right, is I will be emailing everyone that puts yourself in that list. Right before I went live, there were 333 people who had put information into that form. I will be emailing you all. That way you can stay in touch with me and know where I'm going to be and what is happening, regardless of what is happening everywhere else. Okay. So I need some water. 1 second. Thanks, Denise. I appreciate it. So that will be the first thing that I would ask you to do is go to the link tree. Make sure that you fill out the very first form that's there. Just click that link and fill it out so that I have your information. All right. So if I look right now, I can see 334 people have done it. Right. So yeah, so that is what I'm asking. Next. Oh, so next. Make sure that you are following the podcast everywhere. So wherever you normally listen to podcasts, whether that is on Spotify, whether that is Apple, whether that is Podbean, whether that is iHeart, whether that is Audible, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you normally, it says Apple, you can't buy coins. Cool. No worries. Don't worry about it. Seriously. You all know what my pay things are. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Salient. Wait, I'm so confused. I'm glad you followed me on Facebook. Works for me, Peacekeeper, whatever works for you. Alex, probably, and it doesn't matter. I'll sort it. It all goes into a spreadsheet. You never listened to podcasts before me. I'm glad to be your first. I am glad to be your first. Okay, so make sure that you are following the podcast, subscribing to the podcast on all the platforms. Hey, Amy, good to see you. What's up, Kathy Maneri? And that way you can hear things. I did put out an episode while I was traveling. I had shitty Wi-Fi, and I thought I would just try like my old mic while I was like while I was traveling. Yeah, I will never be doing that again. So the quality wasn't great, but it was important for me to do that. I am live on YouTube and Facebook. I cannot go live on Clapper until I get a second phone because Clapper does not have an interface for me to use with Restream. Okay, so that's the deal. You made it through. Love that, Amanda. Yeah, it has been rough, right, Veronica? Yep, the sound was rough. Yeah. So guess what? And I apologize for the sound ahead of time. I told everybody it was going to be shitty sound. So you know what I mean? It is what it is. I thought it was just important to put the information out, even if the quality was less than what I would like. Right. So I want to just make sure that everybody, does those things and is able to follow me. So, will I be going live on Clapper? The answer is yes. I just need to figure out the logistics of everything. Okay. So places where you can expect to see me live would be on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Clapper. I am on Fanbase, Jeanette. Here's the challenge, right? So Favorited is used only for lives. Fanbase, all of your videos have to be 2 minutes or less, which really isn't going to want to be my deal. You know what I mean? So let me okay, folks, for those that are coming in here, I don't do conspiracy theories. I don't do conspiracy theories, and I don't do just like fear-based shit. Okay, I just don't. We all know that there are a lot of things going on. Hey, Dana, we know that, and we know that there are going to be a lot of challenging things to keep up with over the next 4 years. And there is a way to do it and come from the right space, right? Oh, I do injustice. What I just don't do is fear-based shit. That's pretty simple. Into the light, which is funny. Your name is Into the Light. Like, enter the light, but you came in screaming fear-based stuff, right? Like that's the thing, right? So this is just what everyone needs to be understanding. I know exactly what is going on. I know exactly, what facts are, right? I just choose to go about it in a way that I feel is productive. That's it. Okay? That's it. What's up, Mina Love? Right? So, what's up, San? Good to see you. It is so let me just say this. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That is the only thing that I am celebrating today. First time watching on YouTube. Got it. What's up, everybody? Hey, Conchita. So this is the space that I like to come from. So let me just go ahead and level set for everybody. If you are new to me in any way, shape, or form, okay? I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. I'm going to ask you, number one, to be respectful to me, to everybody in the room, to everybody in the space. Be respectful, right? Number two, I'm going to ask you to not use slurs of any kind. If you do that, you'll be muted or booted from the live, right? Number three, do not use all caps because that is for moderators only so that they can get my attention if there's something that I need to see. They write in all caps, or unless you are received grace, who has permission to do so due to a vision impairment. Number three, do not spam my comments. If you got something you want to say it. You can disagree with me, that's fine. Just don't say it 5 and 6 times over and over again because it's not productive. All right. Those are the 4 things that I ask in this space. And as long as you can do that and act like a grown adult, we're going to get along just fine. Even if we disagree, even if we, we don't have to see eye to eye. I love it. As a matter of fact, I love it when we don't see eye to eye because that is the way that we have engaging conversation and engaging exchange of information. Okay. We're just going to do it in a way that I feel is productive. I'm not here to argue with people. I'm not here to curse anybody. I'm not here for any gotcha moments. We're just going to do through the thing. So again, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That is the only holiday that I am celebrating today. To me, it is the holiday that matters. I don't care that Alabama and Mississippi are celebrating Robert E. Lee Day. I think that does not come as a surprise from anybody who knows anything about Alabama or Mississippi and their history, right? So is that something I'm going to get upset about? No, I don't live in Alabama. I don't live in Mississippi, right? Um, PMCG. Well, I mean, if you think that I don't know the differences or if there are any, feel free to request to come up and comment. I mean, if you would like to have a discussion around that PMC, then there's a little icon at the bottom of your screen of your phone. It's pink and it's blue. Click that, and you can join the panel, and we can talk about what you believe the differences are and what I believe they are and what they aren't. Right? Because here's what I will say. When you say, if I think there's a difference between Trump and Biden, you have no idea. The sentence doesn't quite make sense. I think I know what you're trying to say. What you're trying to tell me is that there's no difference between the two of them. And what I would say is that that's a blanket statement that can't be accurate, right? Because there's always going to be a difference in between each and every one of us. There is a difference between me and everybody else, right? There's always going to be a difference. Now, what those differences are and where there are intersections of commonality and where there are intersections of dealing in the same systems and the same society that we all live in, of course, those exist as well. Okay. Thanks, Tony. You're welcome. So we can talk about those things, right? But again, it's interesting when somebody comes in, what's up, Ja, and says, oh, Danny, no disrespect meant. So first of all, here's what I know. Whenever someone starts the conversation by saying no disrespect meant, that means you know that you're intending to say something that is going to be disrespectful. Like that's literally it's literally what you say. Right? I mean, that's the thing that's funny to me. I never have to start something by saying, hey, listen, no disrespect. Because I know if I start that way, it's because what I'm saying or the way that I'm choosing to say it, I know it's going to be disrespectful. Period. Because if I'm saying it in a manner that is the right way, then it won't be taken as disrespectful. So it's one of two things. It is either what you are saying or the way that you are saying it that is what's making it disrespectful. So that means you have to be responsible with your words enough to either say the right thing or say it in the right way so that you don't appear disrespectful. That's it. And one of the things that I don't do in this space is generalities. I just don't. What's up, Paula? No, Siberia, no worries. Listen, there is no judgment from me at all. No, that is not a normal amount, girlfriend. No, it is not. Okay. I mean, PMCG, listen, if that is so, listen, if you think that I am upset by an individual that's following 8 people with no followers, who has an opinion, you're mistaken. I don't. I literally, I tell you what, when, if you want to show your face, have a real name, or get in the box and have a conversation, we can do that. Other than that, keyboard warriors don't impress me at all. Not even if they have a valid point or not a valid point. Like literally. Oh no, it is your intent. Yeah, it's non-factor behavior. Right. So good morning, Candy. Good to see you. Right. Right. Americans don't say tram. You are correct, Aaliyah. We don't say tram. Yeah, we don't. We don't say tram. What's up, Slick? Good to see you. What's up, Ash? Right, Candy. I don't at all. What's up, Slick? How are you?
My sister, what's going on?
What's going on?
You know, I went to your YouTube page and looked at all of your old videos. Impressive. All the TV interviews. I was like, oh, shucky ducky now.
I don't even know what the hell's on there anymore.
Yeah, you gotta check out your old stuff. I mean, I said, look at Danny. Go on, girl.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Listen, I wanted to get your opinion. What do you think about Snoop Dogg and doing his little act, his little shuffle act?
Yeah, I think that his old video did not age well, right? Um, and I think, okay, so let me just say this. Snoop, yeah, Snoop has for about the last three or 4 years, especially, been integrating himself in with a certain group of people. Okay.
Corporate.
Yeah. Snoop has been getting corporate. And anybody who pays attention has seen him doing that, right? What's up, Erica? Hey, Christine. So he has been moving into a world, and that started with Martha Stewart. It started with Martha
That's right.
Stewart, and it has right, and it has grown since then, right? And so when you have Snoop Dogg now doing kid affirmations and all the things he does, right?
Joining this hand too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he has been very slowly but surely, aligning himself with a particular group of people. So am I surprised? Not really. Um, am I disappointed? No, because I didn't really have no expectations of Snoop. I don't know him, right? This is the difference.
True.
Yeah, so this is the difference. So, like for me, the way that I look at disappointment, in order for someone to disappoint me, that means I have to have some sort of expectation of you. And
Or
if
something vested inside. Yes,
right,
I get it.
yeah, I have an expectation. So disappointment is an unrealized expectation. And the first thing that I notice about myself is if I have an unrealized expectation, then the first question I have to ask myself is, did the person I have that expectation of agree to it?
True.
Did they agree to that expectation? Because if not, I disappointed myself because I set an expectation of someone that I wasn't sure that I didn't have a reason to. That person didn't tell me that they could expect that from me. Snoop has never said to me, "Hey, listen, Danny, I'm an upstanding guy. My morals come before everything else. I'm going to stay true to the cause. I can never be bought. I will never." Like he's never said that. He did say which
True.
one. He said which one of y'all gonna do it first. He didn't say he wasn't gonna do it after.
Right. Now here's my problem. And I was not surprised. I mean, Nelly, Kodak Black, what an ignorant fool. But anyway, my thing was I'm never surprised. I'm 65 years old. I was around, I saw my first white water fountain when I was a young kid in the South. So nothing up be able to beat that. I can tell you this though. For somebody who was on, see, it wouldn't be so bad for him if he was not up there proclaiming F Trump and all this other stuff.
Oh, he said he was
Then you
racist just a
switch
few weeks
around.
ago.
Yes. So now because you're disingenuous,
Yeah.
People don't respect you. Now, but
Right.
here's the other part. Here's the opt part about it. Tupac said that years ago. They said, watch him. And Tupac was a modern day prophet. It's
Listen,
coming true. He
listen,
said it.
he was always my fave. Always. Tupac was always my fave, right? Yeah, I agree 100%. Listen, again, Kendrick said it too. Yeah.
He
So,
sure did.
yeah. And so
You
let's,
know, but here's the thing. I just look at it as for young people,
mhm.
because this generation is so mesmerized by fame and fortune. They didn't grow up the way you did and I did. We looked up to leaders who were basically trying to help us get more freedom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ralph Abernathy and these were the people we look up. They have entertainers. You
Yes.
understand? Let me tell you something. Marcus Garvey,
Mhm.
all these other people, entertainers are just what they are. Entertainers. Now, if you have something good to say, great. But
Right.
they're not going to lead you to freedom.
No.
Not one.
No.
You know, Malcolm X said it best. He talked about Dick Gregory and all these guys.
Oof.
You know, we always look for entertainers to be out. They're not the ones who are going to lead us to the promised land.
Let me tell you
'Cause here's
something. I was so
Go ahead.
blessed. I got to see Dick Gregory 6 months before he passed.
Now, he changed his whole tune now.
Well, the last time I saw him, he had all the old newspapers, and he was pulling out stuff and telling on everybody right before he passed. He was telling everything on everybody.
Yes, I believe as time went on, he got better. Listen, what's the doctor's name that was very good in history? He passed away. He was very good in black. He talked about the guy that does the ancestry thing. Skip. What's his name?
Yes.
He was considered to be a sellout back in the day.
Mhm.
And as time moves on, I think people kind of fall into their purpose, but you kind of find your way. But I just believe that when young people see these people, they look up to these rappers and they don't think that they have a responsibility, but they do. And that's the problem with this generation. Nobody wants to take responsibility. It's always about me, me, me. And that's gonna run us into the ground. Look, I told my daughter, I got 2 toes down already. I'm 65 years old. I maybe if God, I'm blessed, I may have a good 20 more years before the bottom drop out. But before I leave this great earth, I want to see not just my people. I would like to see people unified. I know it's a long stretch.
Right.
People have been fighting this battle since the beginning of time. But I'd like to see some kind of progress. Was I disappointed about Snoop performing? No. I wasn't disappointed. I actually was more angry. But I was saying to myself, you're a sellout. You preach one thing, you get people to follow that, and then you turn around and double back. I said, wow, you're the scummiest guy, man, around. You can't do this for people, and people are watching.
Yeah.
And just to see him dancing and shuffling, I thought about stepping fetching.
Listen, oh my gosh, what's his name? Oh my gosh, why am I going blank thinking of this boy's name? Big Mike. So Big Mike, when he was when Stacey Abrams was running in 2022, Big Mike showed up to Old Nat Day. So if anybody knows about Old National, it's a particular portion of Atlanta. And they have Old National Day. And so it's a big thing out there, Black folk everywhere. And Big Mike shows up to get up on stage and talk for a minute. And he literally says, let me go. I got to go do a shuck and a jive for the white man. I got to go do a shuck and a jive, and joked about it. And here's the difference, right? Is that there was a time when even Black entertainers knew I would rather not take the bag if it was for a shuck and a jive.
That's right.
Right. And yeah, and so listen, this is the I'm gonna just let people in on a secret here, right? Um, Getting the money does not make you equal.
It doesn't.
Let me just be very clear. Let me be very fucking clear. The same way there is old money and new money, there is white money and there is black money. And make no mistake about it, I don't care how rich you get, you do not belong with them. Not that group.
As we say in the hood, you still a
Right. You still one of them. You
yeah.
still one.
What is so wild to me is it's not just that, Danny. I'm sitting back. I will not be watching the inauguration.
Hell no. That's why I'm live.
That's not gonna happen. Listen, I'll be tripping over a bag of nails, and I still won't go to the hospital and watch it on TV.
Right.
My thing is how many of these organizations are now bending the knee? This is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And I always say this no matter what live I go on. People listen to me.
Yeah.
You have to watch this. And this has to happen because this is the only way we're going to be able to get rid of this. You know, people are going to have to no one actually believed that black people were getting beat in America and the slavery whole thing until a magical thing happened called TV.
Yep.
And once the world saw that Bull Connor was sicking dogs on black people and spraying the water hose and beating us with billy clubs, everybody was aghast.
Yeah.
And this same thing has to happen. I just left Zeus's live, and people, this YT lady said, yeah, I'm waiting to see the deportations. Trump said he's going to start today in Chicago, and he's going to move to New Orleans. She can't wait. She's going to get the popcorn.
Yeah.
And this is what I say. Yes, wait and look at it. It's not going to be the show she thinks it is.
Nope, it's not.
It's not going to be the show that she thinks that she's going to be able to sit down and eat popcorn about. Because with the humanistic side, if you call yourself a Christian,
right,
you see that stuff separating families and dragging them out of church houses, dragging them out of their homes. Nah, buddy. This is gonna be a backward effect.
Yeah, it's will.
Gonna be a backward effect. It's people are not ready for what's getting ready to happen.
No.
And they think it's gonna be a show, and Lord,
it's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be super ugly.
It's gonna be very ugly. Let me just let me interject right now. Go. I got a little notification. So in his final act, Joe Biden issued pardons for his family.
Which is great.
Which I think is so smart. I love the fact that he did it. I love the fact that he did it for the January 6th committee. I love the fact that he did it for Fauci, for everyone. And I love that he pardoned his family. I really do.
You got to play the game, Danny.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Democrats.
Yes.
We have to, so at some particular point, they're not playing fair. It's almost like I'm playing a game of whack-a-mole.
Yes.
I show you something in my hand and then I hide it. And then I say you're cheating. But
yes.
Every time, the definition of madness is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result.
Right.
We have to change our ways. Here's one thing I think we need to do. We need to let some of these young Democrats in the House step up and lead. Like AOC and some of these other people, because these older Democrats, they're like gone with the wind.
Well, so here's the thing about those old Dems. Titan, no, y'all knew he was coming, right? So, Titan. Okay.
Hey, Titan.
Yeah, he's like, where you been? Because we've been gone all weekend. But okay, so let me just say this. So when people talk about there being no difference between Trump and Biden, I don't agree. What I do believe is that there is a system that they all work within, right? There is a system, like it or not, folks. And there are some things that I don't care how much good you want to do. the system doesn't let you do, because this, when people say the system is broken, no, it is not. The system is working exactly the way they intended for the system to work. Facts. Did y'all hear me? The system is working exactly the way they designed the system to work. It ain't broken. It's working the way they built it. Okay. Now here's the difference. Okay. So you get an older Democrat will do a decent amount of like, hey, Mila, not so loud, baby. So here's the difference. They won't be as bad, but they'll play the economic game, because the economic benefits them. Them folks up in Congress, they got money too. Listen, them folks in Congress, they got money too. So they're okay with these economic deals. They're okay with whatever, the majority of them. It's the younger ones that are up and coming that are like, nah, I'm not for this. Like AOC. What's up, Phantom? Like Jasmine, right? The only thing that I wish that Jasmine did a little bit different. I wish Jasmine, oh, how can I say this? People love her clap. Yeah. People love her clap back, right? But I need for your clap back to still be able to unify. I need, yes. Because here's the thing. It's one of the things I never liked about Maxine Waters. I never liked, because she ran them jaws all the damn time, but none of it was ever unifying. Right? It was never unifying. And I'll tell you when she really lost me was when, do you remember when all the pipe pew-pews were happening against the Democratic people? And she got her ass up on TV talking about, you don't scare me. You want to come for me. And this is that she made me angry, because she was not the only person being targeted. So you don't talk shit to someone when other people's lives are at risk. And so she lost. I was like, I don't even know what to do with you. Everybody else was like, we love Aunt Maxine. And I was like, no, Aunt Maxine needs to sit her ass down somewhere. Right?
Yeah, see, but what you're saying is the problem, because look, I like Jasmine, but on the same token, you have to do things that will unify people. It can't be all clapback.
Right.
You know, you still need to be inside. Your words carry power.
They do.
And in order to, what they don't understand is, it's a thing of separation still. By your clapping back, it doesn't bring any odds over to our side, or even consider to think about what we're talking about. If everything is a clapback, then we have an issue. We will stay divided.
Yes.
Somebody has to be the bigger person.
Yes.
I mean, there are times you need to clap back, but then you need to back it. It's almost like when your parents discipline you. Danny, I spank you because of this. You just don't spank me and don't give me a reason.
Right.
My mom would always spank me and then tell me the reason why she did it, and she would hug me. And when I was young, I was like, God, you just beat the hell out of me, and now you kissing me?
Right.
It made no sense. But as you grow up, you understand the logistics behind all of that.
Yeah,
you have to be even-handed.
Stacey made a great point. What we actually need, and this is what we've always needed, and I've said this time and time again, all right? Here's what happens, is we listen to people that are like us. So what we absolutely need is a white woman in Congress doing the clap back. Not just AOC, not just Jasmine, but there has to be a white woman in that mix, which you notice in the squad there wasn't one, right? Even in the freshman group now, you don't have any white woman with the same energy. And that's what needs to be happening. Even Katie don't give the clap back the way as much as, not with the same level of sass, right? And that's what needs to happen. There has to be one. There has to be one.
Can I say this to you?
Yeah.
Let me say this to you. Do you know why they don't? And my brother told me this, and he should have been a Black Panther. You know, why don't you think Katie gives any clap back? This is something he just told me.
What's that?
Tell me why you don't think she get? Because she's a white tea woman. Either way it goes, she can play defense.
Yeah.
And that's a hard truth that people don't want to really look at and listen to. If I'm a white tea person, I don't have to be vested in your struggle because, and I'm not saying that white tea people are not vested in some form of the struggle that black and brown people have, but if I told you my grandfather got hung, you can't identify with that.
Right.
So your struggle is totally different than mine.
Right.
Those white tea people are coming from the thing that we need to make these things legal, and God bless us all. And we're coming from a place like, hey, my granddaddy got ate up by alligators because they threw, alligator bait. It's we're coming from two different places, and the viewpoint is how can we bond?
Yeah.
And right now we don't have any white tea people that are bonding in that particular area because we vote the same.
Yeah.
We're coming from 2 different and 3 different spaces. You see? Why is it that the American Indian or indigenous person can back the cause and understand? Why? Because they have a history of the cavalry killing people, unaliving.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that because I knew you were going to correct me. Those people, everybody that has some form of history of being discriminated against, Mexican Americans can say that. Can I throw out a little fact to everybody right now? You can look this up. I know that everybody knows that African Americans were hung, as Billie Holiday would call it, strange fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really look it up, more Mexicans were hung than black people.
Yeah. Here's my thing, right? I think that this is the conundrum. Somebody said, I think it was Kelly in the comments, you said it's hard to unify when you're calling people out. And I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because I've done it, right? I am a fair opportunity, an equal opportunity, call your ass outer, right? That's who I've always been. And I think that you can do it and still unify. The key is that you have to be able to, I don't have to have experienced it if I have empathy.
There you go.
Okay, so this is the difference. I don't have to have experienced your suffering, your pain, your that. If I have, I think Slick Nasty has a dog that has a toy.
Say that again, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I think they're hearing you have a dog playing with a toy?
No. I have
a squeaky.
Be putting on the squeaky thing.
Yeah.
Oh, those are my birds. They're going off.
Yeah, that's his birds. Okay, that's his birds.
Those are my birds.
Everybody was like, "Is that a dog toy?" I was like, "No, no."
No, when they hear me talk, they say, "We're gonna talk with Papa."
Birds. That's what it is.
Chirping their butts off.
Got it.
And I can't tell them to be quiet like a dog. They're like, what?
They do what they want to do. Yeah. So it's not my house. But so let me just say this. So this is the difference, right? It is 100% about empathy. Empathy allows us to connect with one another and feel something that without having to experience it. Now, guess what? Empathy also requires vulnerability.
Yes.
To both of those. So listen, in order for someone to be empathetic to you, you have to be able to demonstrate vulnerability. Okay? So if you are not vulnerable, it is more difficult for someone to be empathetic to you. So people who have suffered have got to learn vulnerability. Now listen, you can be vulnerable and still be strong. Let me say that again. You can be vulnerable and still be strong, because vulnerability is absolutely the greatest display of strength that there is, right? And there's a difference between pride and strength. So here's what I know. While I'm talking, I'm going to mute you and then I'll bring you back off. So let me just say this. There is a difference between being strong, folks, right, and pride. So one of the things that I've said this for a really long time, and sometimes people don't like it when I say it, but let me tell you a couple of things that I believe. I believe that as we went through after the civil rights era, and as a result of some of that, hey, not so loud, Mila. I believed that I believe that we learned Black pride. I'm not sure that we learned self-love. And the reason why I say that is if Black people had learned self-love, right, then we would not see the things that we see with inside of our own communities. If we learned self-love, right, then that would mean that I love my Black self, which means when I look at your Black self, I am less likely to do harm to your Black self. So we learned Black pride hella good, right? Just like this. We learned it, right? What we did not learn all that well is Black love and love of Black self. And it is very, very difficult to get someone else to love what you haven't learned to properly love yourself. I'm going to say that part again. It is very difficult to get someone else to love what you haven't learned to properly love yourself. Okay? And this crosses all kinds of different intersections. It's not just Black, right? But it's across the board. So like this is the thing that helps within our own communities. All right? Real talk. And this is going to be what part of the work is, right? This is going to be what part of the work is. You just got a message saying you're liking the video too fast. Yeah. So let me just say, I'm gonna sum this up because I want to get back. I want to talk to some of these other things, but these are all things that we are going to have to be working on. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you. Over not just now, not just between now and midterms, not just for the next 4 years, but from here on out. It won't let you tap anymore. It told you to take a break. TikTok said, "Get off them damn likes." Yeah, so we'll talk about that more in a second. Hey, Dominic, text your mother and tell her I'm live, please. Oh my Lord. Okay, I'm back. All right, I unmuted you. All right, so what's up, Rebel? Good to see you. So this is the part of it. So this is what I'm saying. When I say that when you get money, you're still not them, it's because you still don't have the privilege. There's different forms of privilege. Okay. Yeah, apparently TikTok doesn't like the tappers now, right? So let me just tell you what I mean by that. There's different types and different levels of privilege, all right, and intersectionalities. Let me say that. There's different intersectionalities of privilege. And so if you have male privilege and you have white privilege and you have money privilege, then you got 3 different types of privileges. And that means your privilege is like right here. But if you only have male privilege and money privilege, your privilege is right here. Okay. And if you only have money privilege, but that's it, that's all you right here. There's levels to the privilege, and money privilege will only get you so far. Money privilege doesn't get you into, it might get you into the spaces with the other money, but not in an equivalent place.
Yes.
Okay.
As you can hear, there are no more birds. I went into another room.
Okay.
I was driving Danny crazy.
Yeah. Well, everybody else was like, "What's all the chirping? What is that?" But so like this, and so this is what I'm saying. Okay. And so for people that are asking about, you're noticing different things with TikTok. There's something that Donald Trump said last night that I want to just be clear about. He said that Congress gave him the approval, the ability, or a president to approve something with TikTok. And the reality is that that's just simply not true. The president cannot change law. There's a reason that the legislative branch is different from the executive branch. So
Three
unless
branches of government.
right. So unless Congress undoes the law or changes the law, okay, it's not going to be there's not going to be a difference. Now, if you paid attention though, what he said is that the US is going to get involved in TikTok and there's some sort of deal and they're going to make a lot of money. That's what he said. He said
because Elon Musk is now in the mix.
I think not just Musk. I think because listen, Elon Musk hasn't been successful at social media. Mark Zuckerberg has. So those are the two really, really rich billionaires that kiss the ring. So I think if anybody's going to have their hands in the TikTok, it's going to be Zuck. And I'm going to tell you, it's why the day that the Supreme Court upheld the ban, as soon as I logged into Facebook that morning, it asked me to put my TikTok profile on my page.
But you know what, Danny? Here's the disingenuous part. Do you know how many congressmen have stock in Meta?
Oh, a shit ton.
This is part of the game. AOC said it best. She got the bills that were trying to ban TikTok.
Yep.
And she said there was nothing inside of there that dealt with national security. This is about messaging. This is all about messaging.
Yeah.
But this people, you guys listen to me. TikTok is that powerful. And people, you can testify. Danny, I'm not going to try to control your life, but I want everybody to hit a one if you've learned something from somebody on TikTok. Please do it now, because I feel that I'm a very learned person, and I constantly go in different people's lives and learn things that I said, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Whoa, I did not know that. Mm-hmm. It is the messaging of information that they're afraid of.
Yes.
And that's why I said, we the people, that's what they're afraid of. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Information is power.
Yeah. So listen, I will tell you, a friend of mine had commented and said, I've learned so much on Red Note. They've been lying to us. We're a third world country, right? Now, I'm not joining Red Note because it belongs to the damn Chinese government, right? However, let me just say this, right? This is, people will say to me, well, are you going to stay on TikTok if that's the case? Listen, there are very few apps that you're going to be able to go on where you're going to have a significant level of reach that is not connected to one of they raggedy asses in some way or another.
Yep.
Let me just be very, very clear, folks. This is the place where we are in. This is the place that we are in.
It's ring around the rosy.
Right. And so let me just say this.
You're escaping and you're going back to another plantation.
Absolutely right. That's it. And so here's my thing. So then what I get to do, right, is let them, sure, they might make money off my content, but they got to pay me in the process, and I get to be using everything and their own platform against them. Yes. No, you know what I think? I think when Bella was about to tell on you, you started screaming to try to tell on her first.
Oh, snap.
That's what I think.
Let
me ask you this. Were you in Bella's face?
No.
What happened, Bella? That's right. Yeah, listen, you got to give her some space, Mila, baby.
No.
I know. You want Sissy to play with you, right?
You want to play me.
Okay, I'm going to play. She'll play with you in just a little bit, okay? You know, Sissy be taking slow.
Danny, I love your patience. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And your grandkids are going to remember that. So
yeah, these babies.
Let me say this to you. You need to. I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, I'm going to get off TikTok because if Elon brings it that up." But if you do that, it's basically what I feel like the Democrats have done. They just laid down their arms.
Right.
You won't take any more shots, and somebody has to be in the fight.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to be a martyr. I don't have enough followers. I mean, I'm not expecting for all of your 317 people to just join my page. You know what I'm saying? So right now, you are the voice. People like you, and I think those big creators like what's the three white guys' name? The three young guys.
I know Dean and I know Parker. You're probably talking about Harry.
Parker, and they're gonna have to hold the mantle up because thank you, Lisa. You guys are gonna have to hold the mantle up because the amount of this information that's gonna start today, it's gonna be it's gonna be like a tsunami of lies. Right. I mean, the last administration, he told over how many lies?
33,000 some odd 30? Something. Yeah.
He has a head start jump.
Yeah.
Do you know how many lies it's getting ready to be? Did you hear him last night?
Yeah, I did. And we're going to talk about it.
He said he cheated.
Okay, but we're going to talk about that. And be careful. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. I don't know who owns Discord, Cheryl. But so I want to talk about all of those things in just in a second as well.
Can I say one quick thing, Danny?
Sure.
I believe, now somebody told me that, but I believe that he's skirting between the lines. He's not going to actually say that I cheated or we had access to computers and all that. I don't think it's going to be like that. But I've always felt like something sneaky has been happening. I can't put my finger on it. It's only my opinion. And it's like what my dad says. It's like a butthole. Everybody has one. I have an opinion of it. I'm not going to spread lies that he cheated, but he said some very nefarious things out of his own mouth.
Yes.
Now, he might have been doing it like he's just said, like the Gulf of America, and we're going to take the Panama Canal. He could be running his mouth. But I've always still felt like something was wrong with the election.
So
to hear him say some things is almost a confirming thing. He's not going to outright say I cheated. It would be stupid to say that. But then again, he said he can kill somebody on Fifth Street in New York and get away with it. And from what we've seen, it looks like he's correct.
So, yeah. So this is my thing. One of the reasons why I'm not all up in arms and sharing that clip like everybody else is because I knew it wasn't going to change the outcome of today.
Facts.
Like the reality is no matter what, that man was going to be inaugurated today and take office. Like it or not. When people say, oh, I'm just upset that they didn't do anything. I did not believe that they were going to. I've said it for a while now. Nobody's coming to save us. No one is coming to save us. It is up to the people. Right. The other thing is that I think that's all anybody's talking about, right? That's all anybody's talking about. And the things that they didn't listen to are the things that are the most important. Okay. So let me just tell you what he said. He said last night that he was going to issue a bunch of executive orders today. He said that he was going to use the national emergencies, right, to do a couple of different things. He was going to determine that the southern border was a national emergency, which would give him executive powers to do a bunch of stuff when it comes to deportation and immigrants. He said he was going to do that. He said he was going to use his executive orders to cut a ton of regulations. Did y'all not hear that? He said he was going to cut a bunch of EPA regulations to enable, and he literally said this, to enable the big energy companies in this country to go to town. He said it last night. If you were not listening, he literally said to you what he was going to do. Birthright citizenship, Amy, is a different ball game because that's in the Constitution. That's a different ball game, right? I'm talking about things that he can do using the executive orders. I can tell you, Schedule F is coming back, executive order today. It's going to happen today. Like it or not, folks, this is what this is kind of what's going to be. So again, it is important to not listen to the things that are inflammatory, and the things that, listen, if it is meant to invoke, if it evokes a ton, of emotion from you, I immediately have to qualify it and go, ooh, is that the bait? Is that the
But
bait?
I call it sleight of hand, because I've been saying this since he was in the presidency of the last time. He says a lot of things, but you got to see what's behind his back. And I do believe that he says a lot of things to throw people off, but in the background, he's doing things. Well, he can't do it underhandedly because he eventually has to show his hand. But by the time he does show his hand, we'll be thinking, I told somebody this the other day, you'd be thinking about the Gulf of America, and he's doing something else. So
Yeah.
I do agree with you on that. I do think that that you have to watch and don't get yourself all caught up. I'm just amazed, though. I'm amazed. I mean, in a funny way, of everything that he can say, and people actually believe it.
Guys, stop putting in the comments every single thing he's saying. I really, listen, I don't want to hear everything he says, because half the time he's lying. You never know what the fuck is fuck. And I don't listen. There's a reason I'm not watching the inauguration, because I don't want to hear the 1,100 lies he's about to tell.
Amen.
Like, real talk. I do not want to hear everything he says, because I don't want all that fear mongering and negative energy. I just don't.
Preach, Pastor Danny. Preach it.
Yeah, like, until I see what the fuck is actually happening, I only want to see y'all know how we do. I don't care what he says until I see. Don't do that, sissy. Until I actually see the executive order. Until I see how it is implemented. How I see what the impact is going to be. However it's going to work itself out. That is what I'm interested in. I don't care what that man says. I literally don't care, because you never know what is coming out of it and how close to truth it is, ever. I listened to him last night, and immediately, if he couldn't say open borders and transgender as many times as he possibly could, he's still talking about the same talking points he did before the election. So I don't care. It is going to be, the thing that has to happen now is everybody needs to track the executive orders. Period.
I agree. I think that also people, by coming to your live and people reading is fundamental. You have to do some of this work yourself. I mean, Danny can give you things to read, and she's a good resource. But you can actually pick up a book yourself. And she has a couple of resources in her links that I think it, especially not just for white tea people, Black people who don't really know all of your history. I think this is a good time to be learning in history and the way government works. Part of the problem that people have, they don't understand how government works.
Right.
That's why they can say things to you, Danny, and say, well, but if you knew how the three branches of government works, you'll know that a lot of this stuff is just posturing from Trump. He can't do half of the things that he's saying.
Right.
He has to have support.
Even with Congress having the majority, there are things that they're still not going to be able to do. Just so that everyone gets, right? Yeah. So the reality is what we have to be focused on. Listen, if you spend all your time trying to catch up with everything this man says, you are going to miss the opportunity to prepare for the midterms.
There you go.
You hear me? It's about focusing on what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. That's the focus, right?
And you know what? I told my cousin, I said, look, instead of listening to everything this guy says, I told him the same thing you just said. We have to prepare. We can't wait for the midterms to sneak around us. And now we're trying to gather up candidates. See, the one good thing that I think that Republicans They're grooming people.
Yeah.
They're grooming their side. You know, Charlie Kirk was groomed. All these people were groomed. I don't know if we have any young people other than what I see on TikTok, like Park and Dean and some of these other people. We have to groom our young people now. I think that AOC is a good resource. She was spitting facts. She dropped a video, and I think that she has her finger on the pulse, but we need more people like that. And like you said, if we wait a year from now, we're going to be in some deep doodle.
Yeah, no, there is no time to wait, right? And so this is the point that I'm making with everybody. Okay. I let me ask y'all a question. So, like, seriously speaking, y'all, do you honestly believe that there is anything that you could do that if those folks wanted to know who you are, where you are, or get your information, that they could not do so? Do you really think that in this day and age with that damn smartphone in your hand? And I don't care whether you are on TikTok, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on YouTube.
Didn't they just hack the Pentagon or something like that?
The damn Treasury too.
The Treasury.
Yes.
And you think that and you're worried about TikTok?
Listen, this is my thing, folks. We are where we are, right? And I think that what people don't get, like, there's hold on a second. Listen, there are things that we can do to be prudently cautious, right? But those things don't change the reality where we listen, right? Listen, Siri's asked me listen all the time. That's why Apple is just y'all know that Apple is settling a lawsuit from Siri's ass listening. Y'all know that, right? That's a real thing, right? That's why I don't have Alexa up in here. And I joke when I be like, no.
And they will listen on private conversation.
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, I think that people think that getting on Facebook and Instagram is pretty safe. Mark Zuckerberg had to answer for that himself.
Yeah. Listen, that's why that joker covers up the mics and stuff on his own computer. But listen, folks, that's why when you be talking, next thing you know, you get on Facebook and there's a damn ad for the thing you was just talking about. It has just been the way it is. It just is. Okay. And so I think about if you got a smart TV, I don't know what to tell you about that, right?
It's too smart.
Yeah. So for me, I can't beat them at their platforms. I can't beat them at their technology because I'm not a multimillionaire, right? But here's what I do. So what can I do? I can use their own shit to tell the truth. To tell the truth and shame the devil, right? Tell the truth and shame the devil. Now, my understanding.
The enemy from within yourself.
Yeah.
You can beat the enemy inside of their programs. And sometimes I think you just have to do some reconnaissance. You were in the army, you know.
Mm-hmm. So listen, folks, somebody said if you have an auto tapper, you have to keep the auto tapper on 6 or lower or it gets flagged. No, I mean, Mama Dukes, I saw some of the video from the marches, but I'm just going to be really, really frank. Unless that march is followed by action, I really don't give a damn. Unless as part of that march, they were cultivating people to run for office, unless as part of that march, they were figuring out where everybody was geographically located in order to organize, unless that march was being utilized for additional action after the fact, I'm sorry, I just don't care. I just don't care because listen, there were marches all over the world after Derek Chauvin put his damn knee on George's neck, and there have been people unalived by the police since then. Like, unless the march is followed by something that actually changes things, I'm not interested in it. I'll save my knees and my feet and do some shit that actually has an impact.
I agree. You know, I often tell one of my, I tell my wife, she's Cuban, and she, you know, she doesn't follow a lot of the Cubans here. She's very progressive, more on the Democratic side. But I always tell her, you know, down here, I think I forgot her name. She's in the comments. She follows me. She could tell you off 8th Street, anything that happens in Cuba, they're hitting pots and pans. But this is what I tell everybody. You have to think the way how white tea people conquered this nation. Without bloodshed, nothing's going to happen. You can march.
Now, see, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Let me explain my point, though. Let me explain. Like you had the guy standing in front of the tank in Tiananmen Square. Nothing happened, but it was a symbolization of what could be. America is one of the only places, Danny, if you search history, where things were done legislatively to get yourself free, but there was still bloodshed. Martin Luther King just didn't march down the street and say, "We shall overcome," and everything just popping fresh like the Pillsbury Doughboy. It didn't work like that way. With every struggle, there's probably going to be some violence. The problem is who's willing to stick their neck out for the cause. Now, you said something about empathy. Do you remember during the civil rights struggle, you had a lot of white tea people putting their necks on the line. They were committed to that cause because they saw an injustice. So where are those same people now? Of course, those people have probably died off. But within this generation, who wants to just march? They don't think that anything happens when you just marching. Violence, I hate saying it, and I know you're in the armed forces and stuff. Sometimes violence makes changes. And I don't think you're going to be able to march in Cuba and just think that the military is just going to lay down their arms and say, okay, you guys march. People are scared of change on both sides. If you have all of this power and you've been running the country for 300 years, they're not just going to roll over.
Well,
it
no,
just doesn't work
but
that way.
Okay, so where is it? Because y'all know I be pulling out books as we talk.
Bring the book, my sister.
So listen, but these are, so this book is Power Concedes Nothing Without a Demand. And this is actually, it's a book, it's a collection of American slavery and abolition narratives, right? So this was edited by the Schomburg Center out of Harlem. But yeah, so no, I mean, but the thing about this is that
hold on, can I clarify one thing before you start?
Sure.
I'm not saying that we should do violence here. We've already went through that with the Civil War, the Civil Rights struggle. I believe that this country can make changes through legislative actions, through voting, and things like that. But there still has to be some form of force. Now, if I'm talking about Cuba, my analogy was to her was somebody has to get out there and put themselves on the line. That's not saying that violence will come to them, but I'm also saying that it may come to them, but you have to be willing to stick your neck out for something. And that's all I'm saying. In this country, people did stick their neck. That's what the the Civil War was about. White tea men fought for a cause from the North to keep the South from, it was about slavery, but it was what the slaves brought economically to them. And for them to lose that, you got to remember, since 16-something, they were running their plantations. And so something drastic had to happen. So I'm not saying you got to get out there with a pitchfork and stab people in the neck. You know,
Lord, you got to watch all your TikTok language today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I going to get you kicked down? I hope not. Let me tone it back.
Yeah, please.
I'm
so
not
listen.
saying that, okay, because I like you. I'm not trying to get you banned or anything. All I'm saying is this: people have to be called to action, and that's not guaranteed. Trump already said that if people protest, he's going to bring the military. Who's to say he's not telling the truth? He tried to do it the last time. I'm saying is you have to have a willingness to stick your neck out. And I don't know who wants to do that. Like you say about keyboard warriors, there's a lot of people talk trash to you over the internet, but who's actually going to get in your face, Danny? So I'm saying there has to be some form of commitment. That's not saying it's about violence. Maybe my analogy with Cuba was different because they're in a different point in their history timeline. But here in America, you have to stick your neck out. You can't just sit at home and say, Lord, I just hope things I'm hoping and I'm wishing and I'm praying. We have to get off our tufts. We got to get out there and we have to let our voices be, we have to let it be known. And then who's the guarantee that the opposite side is not going to sit up there and protest you? You have to be willing to
you guys.
What is important to you?
Yeah,
You'll be fighting for your grandkids, Danny, you know? And if you think any harm was going to come to your grandkids, I guarantee you'll be out there in them streets. Not in the TikTok streets. You'll be in those streets. And that's all I'm saying. There has to be some form, a level of commitment. And I don't think some people get that commitment until fear comes into the game. You think you're going to lose something. Oh, you're going to take away my Medicare? Oh, my God. But they've been preaching this for years.
So
people voted for this stuff. So anyway.
Yeah. So here's my thing. So I don't. I think that history is great to learn from. I don't think that that the way that you move forward into the future is always to repeat the things that history showed us, right? So I don't think that just because prior advancements required certain types of behavior and actions, I don't believe that necessarily means that it has to be in the same way. What I believe it has to have, the elements that it all has to have, is it has to have the same, if not greater level of commitment, the same, if greater level of dedication. And but the biggest thing that I think is necessary is I don't think that it's fear. I think I have said this once and I will continue to say it. I believe there's one thing that is more powerful than fear, and I believe that it is hope. I believe that hope, as Jane Fonda put it, is a muscle. And the more you work that thing, the stronger it gets. And you don't have to, it's not optimism. Optimism just says, oh, everything is going to be fine no matter what the fuck happens. That's not it. Hope is a muscle that is worked when you take action, right? And the more action you take, the more hope that you build, right? So because every time you take action and you start to see the fruit of your work, no matter how small the fruit is. Sometimes that fruit might be a tangerine, a mandarin orange, right? And then other times that fruit might be a grapefruit, a pineapple, it just different things. And so the key is every time that you do the action, you build the hope, right? What's up, the other Jen? And so,
can I say something? I don't know if Cat Whisperer, I don't know if she's talking to somebody in the comments about what's delusional.
She's saying it's delusional to say that everything is fine, and not be looking at reality. She's talking about that's delusion.
Okay, so I understand what she's saying. She thinks that you're taking a Dr. Seuss approach.
No. She was agreeing with what I said in the beginning about positivity, about optimism.
I think that hope is good. Hope is good, but hope stabs off the feeling of fear. I get that. Okay? But let me tell you the reality of that. Yes, you want to get small victories to keep moving forward. But while you're doing that, you have opposition that's fighting against that. So I'm not saying not to have hope. I am saying that basically you hear the things that's gonna happen, and you move into action. Sometimes to me, fear is a great motivator, just to get you off your behind, to get you to hope. This is something I firmly believe in, because after all the battles I fought personally, fear got me up to get to hope. Because when I had cancer, I was very fearful. And then something came over me and said, look, I have a chance to change this, because I have cancer, but it is not spread over my body. So I'm hopeful that things will change.
Right.
So
But here's the
these
thing.
emotions,
But people respond to fear in different ways. So you're speaking about people being activated to fight by fear. Many people react to fear by flight. Some people freeze. There's different reactions that people have to fear. The reaction to hope is damn near the same for everybody. Hope is a positive motivator. And here's what I really do believe with everything in me. I believe whatever ground you grow something from is going to impact what you get. So if you are growing, if you are growing a flower in horrible soil and whatever, you might get a flower, right? But it is not going to be the same kind of flower that you would get if you were growing it from good soil. Whatever you birth a thing from is going to impact the type of thing that you get. So where I choose to birth from is always from hope that is rooted in reality, right? I'm totally aware of the realities, but I'm not going to. I don't need fear to motivate me. And what I know is that fear is not something that is easily quelled once it is stoked. It tends to leave residual effects. It's like fear to me is like oil on a damn pan, right? You can wipe the pan out, but the oil is still there. You can run water over that bitch. The oil is still there, right? So for me, I would rather not do it at all. I would rather not put the oil in the pan. I would rather not put the fear in the fire, so to speak, and soak that sucker. I would rather come from a place of facts and hope, right? So that people, so people understand it ain't nothing about this about to be a walk in the park. There is nothing about this that is about to be a walk in the park. But what I'm not going to do is hang on to every single word that man says. That's number one. The other thing that I'm not going to do is live in a place of fear and be like, oh my God, they're coming for A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Nope. What I know is, right, a non-stick pan of hope. So for me, it is about doing whatever I can do to make sure that the negative impact, is minimized as much as possible while we prepare for the work that has to happen in order for us to regain at least the Senate, if not the House and the Senate in 2026.
That I agree on. I think that it's like I said before, we have to prepare. I think sometimes fear comes in when you wait too late. That's my analogy. If you're waiting to the bulk for the shoe to drop, of course there's going to be fear. But if we prepare now, I believe in preparation. And that's my thing. I made that analogy to my significant other. If you wait, it's almost like if I told you, you have an infection on your foot. I think you need to clean it. Maybe you should go to the doctor. Oh, I'll wait. It's going to be okay. And then it starts to get worse. So I do agree with you, on that. So I think that we're in the same place. I just think that when people wait for things to happen, it's like they're listening to everything Trump is saying. And what they're doing is a lot of people, even right now in this life, they're going to go home. They're going to sit back and just keep watching TV. And that's what we don't want people to do. And that's where I'm coming from. And I don't have a fear that people are doing is just sit back, because this is your life. I can only tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm doing, and it's not from a place of fear. And I do believe in what you were saying, because when I had cancer, you constantly think about that on a personal note. So I personally, I have to use higher powers and everything, because that is fear-based. When it comes down to things that I feel like I can control. Oh yes, when I hear this guy talk, I feel anger, and that's what I have to calm down. I hear anger because I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about my daughter. I'm thinking about your grandkids. I'm thinking about that next generation is white, black, Hispanic, and some of these kids are not fighting. They're believing the hype, and I don't have fear that they won't listen. I just have a problem with saying, okay, you're listening to the wrong thing, and you won't even research. It's like how many people come on your app right now and they're asking for resources. It's not that they're ignorant by choice. They just don't know. So they have to be guided. Right now, I am in preparation to do fighting the best way that I know how. I come to your live because you have a lot of resources to help me fight. And I am very appreciative. Even the learned guy that I am, you've said things that help me out. I'm super appreciative. I don't know everything. So I'm trying to get the tools to learn how to fight in this fight. You feel me? Because you learn in combat, there's many different ways to fight. You know, you've learned many masters and stuff. So I am learning how to fight in this fight the proper way. Everything does not have to be done with sticks and bricks. You know, this is a different fight. And we have to be smart about it. So I do agree with you. You know,
Yeah, so
I think part of me is talking from, I see these things happen and I'm angry because, okay, this guy got away with this guy got away with this. Then I have to calm myself down and say, okay, we have to make another plan to put the rat into the trap.
So
and we just have to do that.
Yeah. So for me, I don't do anger listening to him either. And I'm just telling you because both of those two things for me carry a shit ton of negative energy. And so for me, I don't want to be motivated by something that is negative. I want to be motivated by something that is good. Right? 1 second. Yes, baby.
Cookie.
You what?
Cookie.
You want a cookie?
Yes.
Yes. You have to get the snack bag that we took. So for me, and this is what I talk about a lot in this space is yeah,
I can get it down.
you can't get it down.
Yeah.
She said it's heavy. Ask Dominic to get it down for you because it's the bag we took in the car ride. Ask Dominic to lift it down for you, honey. So let me just be clear. So there's a difference, and I say this all the time. There's a difference. You got it, babe? Okay. You got it. Good. So there is a difference between motivation and inspiration. I think that when you said fear is a good motivator, I think that's true. What I know though is motivation is temporal, right? Motivation is something that is temporary. It doesn't last, and it typically comes from an external source, right? Something from the outside makes someone motivated to do something. Inspiration comes from within. And so that is how you cultivate hope. And that is how you cultivate, that type of energy for doing the work from a good place, from a positive place. And so for me, I prefer to do the inspired work that is consistent because inspiration will keep you going in the face of absolutely anything. Motivation tends not to do that. Motivation is temporary.
Danny, and I'm going to glee. See, you're saying key things, but everybody's not where you are. So they have to learn to get where you are. So fear can drive people to you, to your page. And then they listen to you and you inspire for inspiration. That's why we get great leaders. You understand what I'm saying? Fear may say, well, it's like, and I have to keep using myself. When I had cancer, I searched around the country until I found an experimental cure, and it cured me. So fear drove me to give me hope. Now, just like you said, you can't stay in fear. I agree, but there are a lot of people that come on your live right now, and a lot of people don't come to you for fear, but there's some people I've heard them on your page say, God, I'm afraid.
Mhm.
I don't know what to do. And so what you've done is you've given them information and the tools to be hopeful. So it's almost like that movie they had, it's a cartoon where this young girl has all the emotions and they're all talking to themselves. You know, you come from, and see, I look at your background, you come from a military background. I don't know if your mom and dad was in the same place, but you probably had a great foundation. A lot of people don't come from your background. So
I will tell you this: my background has nothing to do with where I am. There is no my this. This is a foundation that I found for myself. I wasn't taught this foundation. I didn't have it as an example. None of that. This is a place where where I had to learn and get here on my own, and started this journey about 12, what year is it? Yeah, about 13 years ago, 13, 14 years ago,
just said the
right?
key word, though. You just said you had to learn.
Right. And so this is my point. Right. So what I'm saying is that what I talk about, right, is I don't ever co-sign fear is just like, for me, I don't find it fruitful to
walk in fear.
Yeah.
I understand. I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. It's not
I am
something.
not in disagreement with you with that. I'm just saying that sometimes
I don't know.
drive somebody to find information. That was me. Fear can drive you to information to help you grow, so you don't have to be fearful. When you learn, like if you're fear of math, I taught school for a while. I'm scared of math. And then when I give you the tools to understand the mechanics of math, when you see a problem, you go on with confidence. This is all about, it's all about growing. It's basically what you're saying. But some people have to get there. Fear is a false evidence of appearing real. I agree with you on the moment, but there are people in your life right now who are walking around in fear, and sometimes you have to constantly help them.
But most of the time, if people are walking around in fear, it is because they are living in the future to something that hasn't happened yet. Most of the time.
I don't disagree.
Not all the
I
time.
agree with you.
And so for me, it's real simple. So like, okay, in this moment, and this is why I keep talking to people about the necessity to stay in the present moment. The necessity is to stay in the present moment. So in the last hour, Donald Trump has been inaugurated. He is the president of the United States. He's talked about a lot of shit he planned on doing. My question to you is, what has actually changed in this moment to make you fearful? Like what action has, what is nothing? Nothing. There's nothing in your day-to-day life right now that has changed. So if you are all worked up and you are fearful, it's because you are imagining a bunch of shit that has not happened yet.
I totally agree.
And so my point is simply this: don't be living somewhere that doesn't exist yet, because what you give your energy to is what you create. So for me, I will continue to stay rooted right where I am right now in this place, right? And I'm not focusing on anything else that could possibly come. When it comes, when its arrival is unquestionable, undoubted, and imminent, right? Then we will do whatever is necessary in that moment.
I agree. But see, there's no buts. So let me rephrase that. I've been on your page where you have to tell people that same thing.
Yeah.
So they're asking you these questions. So where do you think their emotions are when they ask you those questions?
Right. But here's
what I'm saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But basically what I'm saying is some people, they have to get to that point. I've been on your page where people say da da da, and you can see, hey, you're projecting something that hasn't even happened yet. You know what I'm saying? People have to learn certain things. Like you said, you learned over 12 or 20 years to get that foundational part where you are. I learned to get, because of everything that happened to me, to get to my foundational part. People have to get there, and everybody's not going to be in the same place. You know? So my thing is we have to help them get to that place. And I think, to give you your credit and your flowers, you are helping people get to that place. But I don't want to make any bones to say that people are not exactly where you are. And we have to help our brothers and sisters get to that point where they feel comfortable. And you know, I have a therapist because when I lost my daughter, so I built up a lot of insecurities of death because things happen to me. But I am getting back to my own self. So things you have to learn. You have to learn to be back into yourself, and you have to learn to get back to your foundation. When I lost my daughter, I was shaken to my core. I can honestly say that I am almost back to myself. So I understand that fear component. I'm not walking in fear, and I'm helping people like I think you are. You're helping them realize that you can't project anything that has not happened in your life already, because you'll be a walking, trembling leaf. And I do believe that. And I support you because I think you're doing a mighty good work. You know, my own thing is my own thing. Yes, I'm in a place of anger because that's what I'm getting therapy help for. I am angry because I lost my loved one. I'm angry at a lot of stuff. So I transport all of that anger to Donald Trump. And, you know, and it's just something that I'm trying to get out of operating in. But that's my journey. And that's what I just told somebody. This is my journey. This is my walk. And this is how I'm walking out of that anger part. You know, I went through my 5 stages of grief, and some parts are still there. Yeah. You know, so this is my own personal thing. But as far as Donald Trump is concerned, man, let me tell you something. I don't fear him. I have no fear. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do what I need to do. And Danny, I took a lot of your time today. I'm very appreciative. I am a supporter.
I appreciate it.
The words you spoke are very prophetic, even though I don't know if you're trying to be prophetic, but they are prophetic, and I think people need to listen to you. And I am learning some things from you. I mean, things I've already know, but to hear you reiterate it is very comforting. And people, I'll tell everybody, please keep listening to her. If something happens with this app, Elon Musk takes it over, I'm still following Danny because we need somebody to stand up and fight the good fight. And on that note, Danny, God bless. I don't think we had an argument or disagreement. I just think we're coming from different points of view.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has to know what works for them. You know what I mean?
We're on the same team, though.
Yep. Absolutely.
Believe that.
All right.
I got your back.
Yeah. No worries. Appreciate you. Have a good one, Flip.
Hey, much love.
You too. Bye. Ronleen, did you mean to come up, or were you just tapping, or what happened? I don't think it was on purpose. All right. Okay. So a couple of things. There's a lot to talk about, and people, I see different things in the comments that people want me to address. So I will do that. Okay. Oh, thanks, one average woman. All right. So let me just say a couple of things, folks. Okay. So, yes. I don't know what is happening with this app, or Zuckerberg or Elon or whomever. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time thinking about it because ain't shit I can do about it anyway. Real talk. There's nothing that I can do about it anyway. What I do know and believe is that it is important to stay on track and stay rooted in the things that we need to do, right? And one of the biggest things that we need to be focusing on are your local elections, your state elections, your gubernatorial elections, and then congressional elections, right? Because those are the places where you can make the greatest amount of impact in a short period of time. So, you've got to be looking at what's happening with your school boards, what's happening with your local, your city councils, your county commissioner meetings, all of those different places. And so the question that I would have to ask, you're welcome, Dee Dee. Yeah. So Lamb Chop, my understanding, listen, my understanding, folks, is that TikTok currently is not allowing you to recharge your coins or purchase subscriptions. That's what I'm being told right now in this moment. So I don't know what that means. I don't know. Um, and so there's nothing that I can speak to about it, right? So it just kind of is what it is. Here's my plan is very simple because I do not know what is happening with TikTok. Um, um, Vivek has said that my understanding is that he plans to run for governor. So he's not looking to be appointed to fill Vance's seat. You recharge your coins, but you're using TikTok on your iMac. Gotcha. Yeah, because the app is not in stores because it's still banned. Right, Melissa. So, right, Michael. Right. So guys, we don't know. Why is everybody saying so? Dee Dee, why did you just say it feels like TikTok is going to change and not for the better? Like literally, what do you have that says that? Right, wham, bam, boom. It's John Husted has already been appointed to JD Vance's unexpired seat. The other thing is this. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you because it just came across my screen. They have now stopped using CBP, the CBP1 app. Now, here's the thing that's so crazy about that. CBP app is not just about immigrants scheduling stuff. There are Americans who use CBP1 when they are coming from other countries, and the Trump administration just has stopped using CBP, which is crazy because it launched under Donald Trump. So that is the first thing that has occurred. Okay. Now, let me say this to you. If you never use OB the app, don't freak the fuck out about it because it ain't changing nothing in your life. Okay? Just this is what you're going to have to think about, right? Facebook was asking the day Listen, Facebook was asking the day that the Supreme Court upheld the ban on TikTok's law, that Facebook was asking me to put my TikTok thing in my profile. Okay. We've talked about the CBP1 app, and give me 1 second, please. Give me 1 second, folks. Yeah. So listen, we talked about CBP1, that app, because it is an app that was launched under the Trump administration, and it allowed immigrants that were coming from other places to schedule their appointment um, with immigration. It also allows American citizens that are coming through customs to schedule the appointment. Um, yeah. So, okay. I'm really going to ask you all to stop and think before you put things in the chat. I'm going to ask you if what you are about to say is relevant, if what you are about to say is fact based, if what you are about to say is helpful. I really want you to behave like people who have some sort of mindfulness over your thoughts, your words, and your actions. That's really what I'm asking right now. Not for you to be typing based on your emotion or out of reaction. I prefer that you take a moment, breathe, and then respond. That's what I prefer that you do. People can speculate as to why TikTok is now asking you to put your Facebook stuff on it. Facebook was asking me to put my TikTok stuff on there on Friday before the Supreme Court announced they were upholding the ban. The answer is very simple. We don't fucking know why. You can speculate why, you can guess why, but you don't know why. So for me, that is valuable energy that I don't have to waste. I do not have energy to waste trying to speculate about what billionaires are doing. I don't. Do you have the energy to waste? Because I wouldn't think that you do. And I just want you all to be clear about something, okay? There's absolutely zero. There's absolutely zero that there's nothing that what Trump said last night is going to change about the reality of today. I don't know what you're asking me about deleting. When I got on TikTok, TikTok did not ask me to do shit. TikTok did not ask me to do anything about Facebook. It asked other people. It did not ask me to do anything with Facebook. And it didn't, and Facebook hasn't asked me since I didn't do it on Friday. Okay? Do y'all realize whether or not they ask you or not, if those guys wanted these two apps to talk, they could just do it? Do you all understand that if they wanted these apps to talk, they don't have to ask you to do shit. They can just make them talk. They don't have to ask your permission. So if they want to share information, then they can. And I think the thing that you need to ask yourself is, what information could they possibly be sharing about you that you need to be concerned about? Like, real talk. What are you worried about? Yeah. They're not worried about us. Right? So this is what I'm saying to you all, right? The focus has to be in the real things. Now, let me say this. If you are a Latinx individual, I can understand every bit of anxiety that you might have right now in this moment, because they're expecting to do around 10 executive orders today around immigration. If you have loved ones that are here and they are undocumented, I absolutely understand where you would have some fear, where you will have emotion, where you will have anxiety. And I would not tell you that your concerns aren't real. Okay? So that much I will tell you. Okay? Gina, I refuse to say it's scary times. I really do. I'm not doing that. I'm not speaking that. I'm just not speaking that. You're welcome, one average woman. What, honey? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bella. Thank you. Give me 1 second, y'all. I need to take care of the babies real quick. What if thoughts lead you in a cycle of anxiety? Well, Shauna HP, let me just say this, okay? I think that it's important that we are honest about the fact that Trump's first term is not like this term. We need to be, like, again, I said, I am hopeful and I'm also rooted in reality. So what I'm not going to pretend is that Trump's first administration is like this one, right? Because it is not. I think that people need to be very, very, very clear about that. These two things are not the same, okay, at all. And so I'm not going to pretend that. I'm going to acknowledge that some of the things that they tried to do in hold on 1 second. Why is it not giving me what I need to do? There it goes. Some of the things that they tried to do in the first administration were a dry run, were a test run for the things that they intend to do now. I think that is accurate and true. So I think that you will see things that are happening now that will happen and can happen much faster than previously before. Okay. So that's just me being direct and me being real about things, right? Right. I know that gift recharging is unavailable right now. I know that you cannot subscribe right now. I know all of those things right now. Listen, folks, listen, TikTok is not back. TikTok is still banned. TikTok is still banned. Because the law hasn't changed. Okay. So I think that that's important for everyone to know. Okay. Yeah, people are saying you can recharge on your PC. And the reason you can do that, let me tell you the reason you can, the reason that you can charge on your PC is because that's going through a website and not through the app. Yes, Blue Honey Pot. Yes. Yeah, Doreen, they're not asking me to fix TikTok. They are asking me about things that they are experiencing on the app right now. So they're not asking me to fix TikTok. They are asking about things that are different that they are experiencing right now on the app. That's what they're asking about. All right. Yes, and it's also cheaper to recharge on your PC. Yep, and Cash App and Venmo are also a thing. All right. So listen, folks. I don't know, Stacy, where all the mods are. I don't know. I do not know. All right. So listen. Things that Alex is here. I got you, Phantom. Yeah, Phantom, I got you. Oh, I got a headache real quick. Right. The law says that it is still banned, but it is actually up and running and functioning, Doreen. The only thing that you can't do within the app is renew your subscriptions or recharge your coins. So you can do that by going to the TikTok website for the coins, and it is cheaper to do that. So the app is actually up and running. I'm on it now and I'm live. So currently I am live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok all at the same time. So you can still you can still use your auto clicker. You just have to have it set at 6 or lower, or it will get you flagged. So the best advice that I can give people right now in this moment, it's on the way. So the best thing here are the things that I can tell you about, because everybody's asking about managing your emotions and all of those different things. Let me just say this to you. Okay. Nothing is gonna, it's not like you're gonna wake up tomorrow and hell will have frozen over and whatever, right? Like, seriously, stop focusing on all of the negative things. You can't stop living in the negative things. Focus on what is actually happening right now in the moment. Okay, got it? So, right. And happy MLK Day, Lin. All right. So listen, folks, things that Trump said last night that got my attention, okay, were the things that he said around cutting EPA regulations. Those things I found to be very, very concerning. Not only for, the environment, but also because he specifically said that he was going to allow these guys with these big corporations to do whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, as quickly as they can possibly do it. It concerns me when anyone, whether it was Joe Biden or Donald Trump, talks about building a ton of AI facilities. Okay. And the reason why that concerns me is AI is, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous tools that's out there right now, especially when it comes to misinformation and disinformation. The other thing that concerns me about AI is the impact on water and on climate change, right? We do know that AI takes a tremendous amount of resources, natural resources, every time someone uses AI. And that's concerning, 100%. Okay. So, don't use the shortcuts, right? Do not use the shortcuts. Write your own papers, write your own biographies, write your own content, write your own shit. Use your own brain. You've got one. It works just fine. Okay. Seriously speaking, Chat GPT is not a friend for the planet. Okay. Other things that I would tell you is stop digesting everything. Me either, Amy. Right? Yeah, Alex, it uses a ton of water, a ton. Yep, me too. I am as well, Natalie. So listen, you do not need to know every single thing that Trump utters out of his mouth. You do not need to know every single thing that he says that they are going to do or that they've done. You really don't. Hope you guys get better soon, right? For news, I PBS, NPR, BBC, Politico, ProPublica, and sometimes AP. Sometimes AP, right? But literally PBS, NPR, those types of things. Okay, those types of outlets. I will tell you this. I think that AP is going to be as busy as everybody else, dropping every single thing that he says that he's going to do. Yeah, BBC is always good and informal. I don't know what you mean. Link some of those for you. Not that I know of, Slick Nasty. Not that I know of. Boss Karen, I don't agree that most news is filtered and not true. I think that I think that most news is based on a truth and then is skewed for whatever their stockholders and their boards want them to say or do in order to get the most clicks and likes and shares, right? Yes, NPR is running a live blog on executive order updates. Correct. Yeah. So, folks, listen. I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Becky? No, I haven't watched the Lincoln Project. Listen, I haven't watched anything. Either one, Lisa. I don't care. I am not watching the Lincoln Project today. I'm not watching any of it because everyone is going to have their say. I know, and I love the Lincoln Project. And let me just say this. I don't know that they're as helpful as they could be either. Thanks, Candy. You got it? Like this is the part that this is like I'm astounded. Okay. Somebody said, how do we change your feelings? What do you mean? You are the person that controls your feelings. You change them by focusing on the things that matter. You change them by focusing on thanks, Lisa. Like that's how you do it. Right? So if you don't want to be anxious, ask yourself, is there an issue right now? Right? Appreciate you, Lisa. Right? Things that I do, I already told you, things that I do is I listen to music, I play games with my grands, I breathe, I do breathing exercises, I meditate, I journal, I work out. Like those are the things that I do. Right? These are the things. What I don't do is sit around and wonder what the fuck they doing. Right, Mary J. Read a book. Right. What are the things that bring you peace? Because those are the things that you're going to want to focus on. Somebody said a minute ago in the chat, somebody said, I don't know. I'm scared about when he starts mass deportation and what I can do to help people. This is going to be my response to that, right? Thanks, Tana. This is my response to that. Number one, until you see mass deportation and how it's going to be carried out, there is no way that you will know exactly how you may be of service to someone. You don't know. You don't know. He can't take Social Security. That's Congress. Resistance. Resistance. I need you to, first of all, look at the name that you chose. The name that you chose for TikTok is Resistance is Not Futile. And yet you just literally made a definitive statement. So listen, the things that are important, folks, are definitely knowing your rights. If you are a U.S. citizen and you have brown skin that could be mistaken for being an immigrant, what I would absolutely tell you is, even though you are not required to carry around proof of your citizenship, I would. I would. That way you do not accidentally get caught up in some mess. So if you live in a place where that could be an issue, if you live somewhere where there's an actual concern for that happening, and you want to make sure that you stay okay and your loved ones stay okay, then prepare accordingly. Does that make sense to everybody? Yep. Have your driver's license, your birth certificate, your passport. That's what I'm telling you. And you might be like, well, I shouldn't have to. You shouldn't, but do. Why? Because it's smart, it's prudent. That's how you prepare. That is how you prepare in advance. You got me? Right. Have a great dream day, MLK. You're welcome, funny face. Okay. So other things, right? Right, Craigwood. I would say I would have something more than just my driver's license, Stacey D, if it were me. Right? But if you live in somewhere where that is a concern, it is better to be prepared and to be prudent, period, than to be sorry after the fact. We're just talking about, what are things that people can do instead of just worrying about every single thing that may come out of Trump's mouth. Let me say this, folks, okay? I do not know what is going to happen in the next 4 years. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 months or the next 4 weeks, right? What I would absolutely do is things that are important, right, to you. If you are concerned about Medicare, Medicaid, right, Amy. If you are concerned about those things, this is the time that you want to be contacting your representatives in Congress, folks. Contact your representatives in Congress. Find out what are the things that can be done with an executive order and what requires Congress to do those things. Okay? But folks, this is absolutely it is about that, okay? What, baby?
I broke it.
You broke it?
Yes.
What did you break? Bring it to me. Oh, you broke that part off of Titan's toy? Okay, I'll fix it. Executive orders are immediate, Morty. Christine, I don't know in what way. What would he need help with?
I broke it.
I know. I'll have to glue it when I'm done. Just leave it right there for now. Right. Yeah.
What?
So yeah, folks, I'm just telling y'all right now. If you are looking for me to be telling you all to, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. If you are looking for me to just tell you the world is about to end, I'm not going to do that because we honestly don't know exactly what is and what isn't going to happen. We don't know. What I do know is that much of the things that he would want to change have to go through Congress, which is why your elected officials are so important. And the people running for office are critically important. If you are somebody that has thought about running for office, now is the time to really think about it. Like, really, this is the time where you email your representatives. Um, this is where you talk about it on social media and you tag them in it, right? Um, yeah, I was singing that yesterday, Craig. It depends. Uh, there's not. So let me just say this: when you say how old do you have to be to run, that depends. It depends on what office you're running for, and it depends on what state you're representing. There are different regulations for every state, so you have to look that up. Okay. So, like for example, in the state of Tennessee, before you can run for office, you have to have lived in the state of Tennessee for 3 years, the 3 years consecutive before you run for office. Right? In South Carolina, there is no residency requirement in terms of how long, right? So all of those things really do depend. So find out what the requirements are, where you live. Go look where in your communities did you have people that ran unopposed. The spreadsheets that we started right after the election, now's the time where we really start to fill them out, right? So I know that there are people that are asking me about our trip, and I'll get to it in just a second. I want to make sure that I touch on everything that I needed to touch on really quickly. Um, I have 355 of you so far that are on my email list. And so here's what yeah, school board elections are incredibly important, right? Awesome, Melissa. So here's the thing. I will be consuming um, the amount of information necessary. I will not be following every tiny thing that the Trump administration does. I just can't. I intend to stay sane and whole and well during this process. Um, for me, my role is getting out as much of information as I possibly can to people. Accurate information, fact-based information. Um, with my take on things, right? My take is always going to be rooted in reality, but it's going to be grounded in hope as well, right? Got it. NPR is running a live blog for all the executive orders, folks, if that's what you want to follow. I will not be doing that right now. I will be waiting until all the executive orders are done for the day. And then I will glance through them. I will find the ones that I believe are kind of the most significant, the most impactful, um, and then go from there. But I'm not about to do that and drown myself in that stuff today. I'm not. And I don't recommend it for anyone else.
Whoa.
Like seriously.
Big bug, big bug. Did you want me what to be? Did you want me what to be? Did you want me what to be?
Okay.
Did you
What?
want me what to be?
Okay.
Wait.
You have the give me stop. Guys, the Senate has not voted on the nominees. They vote after the inauguration. Do y'all hear me? Yes.
Did you want more? Did you want more?
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
Me.
1 second, please.
Me.
So the vote could take place as late as Thursday. We're not sure. Hey, Ethereal. Let me look, sissy, please. I'm looking. Literally now. Yeah, any second now, Bella. Yeah, so let me just let me just be clear, folks. There are thanks, Derek, appreciate it. Yeah, so Hegseth's yeah, it won't happen until as late as maybe possibly on yeah, they are refusing. So apparently, some of the Democrats are saying that they will not rush a vote. They said they've made it clear that there's more information that should be provided, and not just for our benefit, but for the Republican colleagues as well. So apparently, they're holding up those types of things, right? Yeah. Hey, somebody, this is what's so funny to me. If somebody comes on this app and they're only following 8 people and they have no followers, or they're following 60 people and they have no followers, that means out of all the people that you could be trolling on TikTok, I made your top 8. I made your top 8. Like there's 170 million users in America of TikTok. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Well, back up from her feet. Right. Like it just tickles me. Like y'all, just little old me. Just little old me. That's just so funny to me. Like what in the absolute holy hell? Morty, I'm not famous in any way, shape, or form. I am not famous at all. But it just makes me laugh, right? It makes me laugh. And it lets me know that someone is concerned about the information that I provide. And that part I like. You should be, because I intend to tell people facts and facts only. And I actually desire for people to come together. You know what I mean? Melissa, that's a good one. Melissa says, when you start to spiral, do the 5, 4, 3, 2 method. So 5 things you feel, 4 things you hear, 3 things you see, 2 things you smell. And it's just focusing all your senses on other things around you, right? Another one that I like to do is just is I'll tap and just remind myself that I am inside my own body, right? I'm inside my own body and I'm safe, right? Right? I am present. It reminds me that I'm present. I love different breathing techniques. Alternative nostril breathing is amazing, right? And I love that, right? So, um, yeah, a couple of things. So I'm going to be going live on Clapper today as well. I intend to record a podcast episode. Um, Probably 2 today. And so a lot is going on with regard to that. If you are not, what do we do when we feel so defeated? Melinda, why do you feel defeated? Why do you feel defeated? That's an interesting word choice. Why do you feel defeated? Yeah, Craig. I think the important thing about that, Melinda, is to understand you never had any control to start with. When you say you feel like we've lost any control that we may have had, the first thing is that you thought you had control of something and you didn't. Right. Tori, you said because you worked so hard. Yeah, you worked hard but you don't control the outcome. You hear me, guys? You have to get to this place where you do the work. Melinda, they've always owned them all. Uh, you on Clapper, you have to type in the Danny Cook with no spaces. On Clapper, it is the Danny Cook with no spaces. Okay, folks, you have to be ready, willing, and able to do the work without becoming attached to the outcome because you don't control the outcome, especially not when it comes to elections, right? Why? Because you're not the only person voting. You're not the only person working hard. You're not the only person knocking doors. You're not the only person having conversations. So this is where you have to keep in mind. You have to absolutely, I don't know, slick nasty, I don't know. So it's very simple, right? You do care what I think, 6 string killer, because you're in my room. So you obviously do care. You cared enough to come. I appreciate that. And I really do hope you have the day you deserve. I hope every ounce of your energy is returned to you 100-fold. That's how I feel. Yeah. So Craig, when you say, so Craig is on Facebook and he says, it's an unpopular point of view, good or bad, good, bad or ugly, God is still in control. And I will tell you why I don't believe that. Give me 1 second. I need to get food for the youngins. Oh, I know. So, thank you. You too.
Wait, that pizza?
Yep.
Wait, pizza food.
I got it for you. Okay. Yep. Come on. Very quickly, because I have to.
I want pizza.
I know you do.
Wait. Don't want
Bella, do you want to get your brother? Put it in the floor.
I heard pizza.
I figured you would.
No pizza, Mom. No pizza.
Yes, Dominic can get pizza.
It's not fine.
Oh, hush. Okay, come in.
No, Sonic. Okay, I did my phone. No, Sonic.
Hey,
No.
stop. I can't do it. Sit down. Thank you. All right, so listen, folks. Let me say this. I'm gonna talk about this again. Okay. So, no, Den Mother. It is currently not possible to get rid of the Electoral College. That would take Congress.
It's really hot.
Okay, can you blow it?
No, you're good.
So, folks, remember,
You're good.
you have to focus on what is
You're
within
good.
your circle of control.
You're good.
The only thing that I can do is control me. Yes, baby.
One more meal.
Wait 1 second, right? Appreciate it, spiritually enlightened. Yes. Did you hear me? You all have to focus on what you can control. And the only thing that you can control is you, right? The second thing that you can focus on are whatever is in your circle of influence. So, who and what is in your circle of influence, folks? Who or what is in your circle of influence? And then you get to determine what type of influence you want to have on that circle. Do you want to be a circle? Do you want to be an influence that is positive? Do you want to be an influence that is negative? Do you want to be an influence that is hopeful? Do you want to be, democracy docket? I love.
I
Yes.
have some juice.
Yes, baby. The dishwasher is clean. Dominic, can you please give Mila some juice in this and help Bella get juice? Just pour juice in it. That's it, son. And can you pour some for Bella? So it's okay, Mila. Just pick it up. So listen, Democracy Docket is a great resource for following all of the executive orders, plus all of the legal lawsuits and things that are happening in the country. Democracy Docket is a great one. Yeah, Melissa Gray. I follow them on Blue Sky as well. So Mark Elias. So again, let me just say this, folks. If I could tell you what should be, kind of how to be thinking about this, it is literally focusing on what you can control, which is just you. You. Focusing on what is within your circle of influence. Where do you have influence? And how are you using it? What type of influence do you want to have on people? Do you want to have a calming influence? Do you want to have an educational influence? Do you want to have an informative influence? Do you want to have a chaotic influence? Do you want to have, seriously be thinking about that? Because even when you come in these spaces together, this is a space in which where you have influence. Your comments have influence, right? So be thinking about, are you an agent of chaos or are you an agent of calm? Okay. And it doesn't make what's happening any easier. It just is simple, right? Simple does not mean easy. Oh, I love that, Edith. Right? So these are the things. So one of the things, so this is what I'm going to ask you all to do. I'm going to I'm going to go in and check out the spreadsheets that we had previously. I don't think so. I think it's just warm now.
No, hot now.
No, it's warm because Bella and Dominic are eating theirs. It's just warm. It's not hot. You can eat it.
No.
Appreciate that, Tootie.
I'm not warm.
It is.
I'm not warm.
Let me see it. I bet it is.
I'm not warm.
I bet it is.
I'm not. Makes me hot.
She wants to. It's warm. It's not hot. I just checked it.
Okay.
Now use both hands. for the plate. Use both hands. There. Yeah, she won't believe me that her pizza is only warm and not hot until she sees me test it. Okay, so listen, folks. Remember this, right? No, Kibbles, listen, that man, why do y'all keep saying this? The man is in office. 49.9% of the American people voted for him. Okay? And I just want y'all to have a real come to Jesus moment with yourself and understand that if Donald Trump gets removed, JD Vance is the fucking president. And I'm not down for that either. Because I think he's just as dangerous, if not more so. Okay? There is no one coming to save us. No one. You save yourself by becoming educated about your school boards, your city councils, your county commission meetings, your state legislatures, your gubernatorial races, and your members of Congress. Clapper does not connect to any other system yet. So when I go live on Clapper, it will be on Clapper only, right? Yes, baby. Yes. Got it? So you need to be clear about this, okay? This is on you. This is on you. So the question is, are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to put in the effort that is necessary? This is what it is, folks. So if you haven't figured that out yet, now would be a good time. How many of you have looked at your legislation that have been introduced at your state legislature yet? Have you done that yet? Have you taken a look to see? Yes, Mama Dukes, I am. The thing about favorited is you only use it to go live. You don't use it to post anything. It is only to go live. So it's important. So what you need to be doing is picking out what are the pieces of legislation that are the most concerning that are being done in your state, and then write them down so that we can put them all in one place. They need to be in one place by state. Got it? So that everyone can be mobilized and you can figure out how to put information out in your state that brings it to people's attention. Have you gotten ready to write your letters to the editor? Are you doing that yet? Are you putting up posts on your social media and tagging your representative in those posts? Because you should be. These are all things that are within your ability to do. And they are all things that you must be doing. Set an appointment. Did you know that you can actually call and set an appointment with your representatives? Go see them in their office. Walk up and down through your neighborhood. Talk to the other moms and the Mommy and Me groups, right? Take your little petition to church and then go see your representative. Go see your representative with 100, 200 signatures from their local constituents saying, hey, this is what we want and what we don't want. How can you be the most effective when you have 5 minutes in front of them? Go in prepared, have the stats, have the information. Because your representative probably has no idea how many hospitals do or don't have access to OB care or a birthing center. You should know that when you go see them. Titan, if you don't stop. Titan, you are literally blocking the camera.
Say hello.
Titan, move.
Say hello. Say hello. Say hello.
So-
Say hello.
Yes, he's a cat. And he jumps up here and he walks in front of my computer all the time. Stop, son. This is him. Thank you. No, they don't do pineapple on it. He's very gentle.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's okay if you have sucky representatives, but that's why it's powerful when you take petitions with you. That is why it's powerful when you go in with the facts and information, because they can't so easily discount you. Right? It's easy to just discount people when you just go in and say, hey, I think this sucks. I think Trump is dumb. I think they're going to hurt people. I think blah, blah, blah. Right? But when you go in, right? But when you go in with the facts, then it's a completely different ball game. Okay. So here's what I need to do. It is 2:00, folks. Okay. I need to get off of here, feed them, eat something myself, finish unpacking our suitcases, prepare for an interview that I have to do at 4:30 today, and the podcast recording that will come as a result. If you have not done so yet, I'm going to give you a few parting things. Okay. What? Yes. Okay. So listen. What? Yes. So what you want to do is go to my link tree. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, it is in my bio. If you are on TikTok, click my face twice. Go to my TikTok profile. Appreciate you, Sonny. Love you back. Click my link tree. The very first form on that link tree is how you give me your email address, your TikTok handle, or your Facebook name, and whether you are a subscriber or a follower, so that I can now email you information on where I'm going to be, what's happening with the podcast, what episodes are coming out, and all of those different things. So I put it up 2 days ago, and the form currently has 357 people that have completed it. Make sure that you do the same. I will be live, like I said, at least on Clapper later today. I'm not sure about tonight. Somebody in the comments said you look tired. I am tired. Oh, can I share this with you guys before I go? Can I tell you guys about our trip now? Can I tell you guys? Yes. Get off her stool. No, it's not. It's not your stool. It's Bella's. Get up. Hey, do you want Mila Ann? Listen. Do you want to still play with that? Do you want to play with that?
Yes.
Then get off her stool. Get off of her stool.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So let me tell you really quick. Okay. So if you followed me for any period of time, you would know that the Georgia Aquarium is me and my grandbaby's jam. Like, we love it so much. It is literally our thing. We've been going for over a decade. Yeah, she did, Terry Bora. And so the kids have been asking us to go ever since, right, Craigwood. And I had to leave from Georgia and go back home when my mom got sick, right? So we haven't been able to go in a really long time. And I knew that they were going to be out today for Martin Luther King Day. So we planned a trip to go to the Georgia Aquarium. So we did. Now, let me just say this. We have things that are our favorite about the Georgia Aquarium. Okay. We love Tank, which is their green sea turtle. He's very famous. He's 50 years old. We love the Dolphin Show. We love Luna. We love Salvador. Salvador is our favorite dolphin. Chris is our favorite trainer. When it comes to the sea lions, we love Juniper. We love Diego. We also saw Neptune. What? Jupiter, not Juniper. Jupiter. Thank you. And then, yep. And then what? I said Diego already. Yep. They're over here helping me tell a story. Hey, Sandy. Good to see you. And so we were just like, these were the things that we wanted to see. Okay. And we were hoping that was going to happen. So I will tell you this, and I have video to prove it. Believe it or not, in the big Ocean Voyager section, when we were walked up to the glass, out of everybody, literally Tank the turtle, literally swam straight up to us, and he laid down directly in front of the glass where we were. Like, he just came specifically to see us, which was so awesome. We were so thrilled. We went to the dolphin show, and well, first when we went to the sea lion show, both Diego and Jupiter were there. So was Neptune. So our favorite sea lions were there, right? Yeah, we love Tank too, Brandy. And then we when we went to the dolphin show, we like I said, we've met Chris before. And he's taken pictures with the kids before. Like, we love him. And he is gorgeous, right, Candy? And so after, because when we went to we went to the 1 o'clock dolphin presentation, and Chris was there, and so was Salvador, our favorite dolphin. And so afterwards, when we were walking out, the trainers, they always stand there and they wave bye to people. And so I stopped and I said, Chris, I said, you won't remember us, but a couple of years ago we were here, and and we talked and we did this and that, and you took pictures with the kids and blah 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 blah. And I explained that I'd been gone and whatever. And he was like, I'm so glad you guys were able to come. And I was like, and I'm so glad you had Salvador. He's my favorite. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, he says, you're probably not coming back for the 3 o'clock show, are you? And I was like, well, no, I mean, but we can. And so he was like, well, if you guys come back for right, Candy. He said, if you all come back at the 3 o'clock show, he looked at Bella and he said, how old is she? And I said, she's 7. And he said, well, he said, if you guys will come back for the 3 o'clock show, we'll let her do the kids' dream thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And he says, and you can do the adult part. And so Bella got to go back in the back. They put these little galosha boots on her. And then she got to go back and come through out front. And Salvador got to be, he was the dolphin that she got to do. So she got to pet him. She got to feed him a fish. She got to do all the things. And then she showed him like how to do the thing and send him off to do the big jump in the sky. And so I posted the videos on my Facebook if you haven't seen them. And then they brought me down to the front while she was that. And so my dolphin was Coquita, and Coquita is 10. And so I got to throw a fish to Coquita and like do a little thing and whatever. So, but anyway, it was over the top. It was so amazing. She got to do, it was so great. She answered all the questions. He was showing her his teeth, and he asked her if she knew like what the hole is up here. And she was like, that's his blowhole, and like asking us all the little trivia questions. So I really did feel like, and this can sound like whatever you think it sounds like, but I literally was almost in tears yesterday because it felt like, it really just felt like the universe was smiling at us. And because every bit of our favorites happened, like every bit of our favorites happened. And it was just awesome and amazing. And yeah. And so, yeah. So somebody asked me, was our hotel close? So I used to live in Atlanta, right? So I'm familiar with the city and whatever. So we decided not to stay like in the city because I didn't want to spend $300 damn a night. So we stayed about 10, 15 minutes outside the city. And we actually stayed, yeah, so it was cool. And then for those of you all who know me, My favorite place to eat in all of Atlanta is a place called Tassili's. And it's ridiculously, hey, what's up, macaroni? It's ridiculously healthy. It's the most amazing place ever. It's my fave. And so I picked it up while I was in the city and brought it back with me. So I get to have Tassili's today. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, so we needed it very, very much. The kids had a blast. If you haven't seen it, the videos are on my Facebook. And again, what I will be doing is I will be live on Clapper later today. What call? Oh, it's Tassili's Raw Reality. Yeah, DJ, we did talk about that, right? Yeah, it's a vegan place. Let me tell you something. Her spices for the kale wraps, it's actually trademarked. It's so good. It's the best thing ever. And ridiculously healthy and the most incredible. Anybody who ever came to visit me, I always took them to eat Tassili's while they were there. Anybody, because Tassili's is love. Tassili's is really love. So yeah. So anyway, yes, you do remember my Facebook post about them, definitely. Yeah, Stacy, I appreciate that. Yeah. So I literally was almost I was almost in tears. It was just a really, really good trip. And Mila kept going, Tutu, what about me? What about me? I see dolphin. And I was trying to explain to her she can't do it until she's 7. But it was awesome and amazing. And she said, Tutu, she said, the dolphins, they go up and down and up and down and all the things. Yeah. So like, it was really cool. It was a really good time. So, Jen is not in here, but let me just say this. Jen is a badass. Jen, did all of the, Jen did some work for me to make sure that I had copies of all of the information that I wanted to have, in case the incoming administration got rid of some things. And so I got a message from her that she was able to finish and get it all done, and she'll send it to me. So that's amazing. So thanks, Tonoski. I appreciate it. So the plan is for me to be live later on this evening. I will say this. I'm interviewing someone today for the podcast and all of that. So if I don't come back tonight, no, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because it is what it is. I do need to go live again on Clapper, just to continue to put things over there. I will tell you this, Clapper's algorithm has gotten significantly more views on my videos than TikTok has. And it's been interesting to see. Yes, I am tired. We drove back last night. I didn't get here until like 10:30 last night. So it's been and then I got here. This is no lie. I got here and our elevator was broken. And so, yeah, so I had to get 2 kiddos, all 3 kiddos, 2 suitcases, and then our souvenirs up 3 flights of stairs to get home last night. So it was not funny. It was not fun, was not enjoyable, any of that, right? So yeah. Yeah, it was not cool. Yeah, so I will be on Clapper. You notice the viewing disparity too? Yeah. Yeah, no, it was not cool. Dominic tried, bless his heart, to help me with the smaller suitcase. It was not good for my knee or my back. They are both all pretty yucky today. So take some ibuprofen. I'm gonna eat me some Tassili's, take some ibuprofen. I gave myself you can judge me if you want to. I really don't care. I made sure that I got enough pizza so they can have it for lunch and for dinner, because I'm not up to cooking. I can't. I've already started cleaning house and unpacking suitcases and prepping for lives and all the things. So yeah, I'm gonna eat Tassili's for lunch and for dinner. They're gonna have pizza for lunch and for dinner. And I'm gonna focus on getting things done that I need to get done, including setting up my email stuff for all of you, so that I can email you where we're going to be and all the things. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Right. Yeah. So I'm excited. So Dope, for those of you guys who ask, because I saw somebody ask, let me just tell you really quickly. Let me look for this morning. One sec. And I will give you the latest stats. So I just did a podcast episode yesterday morning, which we knew, I knew the sound was going to be awful because I had shitty Wi-Fi where I was. But let me just tell you something, guys. Um, in the first 8 days, the podcast has had over 1,600 downloads. Yesterday's episode already has 342 downloads. Both the episodes prior to that have 573 and 568 downloads, with each episode averaging more than 462 downloads as an episode within 7 days. It puts the podcast in the top 5%. And so I'm really excited about that. Really excited about that. So, yeah, as long as they stay on this pace, it will stay in the top 5%. So, yeah. So the goal is to stay on this pace for 8 weeks, and do the thing. So, yeah, I appreciate all of you guys that are listening and downloading and sharing and all the things. So, yeah, appreciate you greatly. All right, folks, I'm going to go, and I will. Thanks, Donoski. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do. I did it yesterday, Veronica. The sound wasn't that great because the Wi-Fi where I was awful. But I actually say forgive the sound, but I'm traveling. But it was too important for me to not put it up because yeah. So I did put it up, but there will be some more that are coming. So yeah, so love you guys much. I will see you all later. Appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. See ya.